worked with Jeremy for a number of years now. But Jeremy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me on. I just want to, a little bit of the intro for me is I worked for Ford Motor Company back when I was in my 20s, and I was a director of finance for a major dealership in Georgia. And I don't know, I see there's quite a few people on the call, but my biggest problem is time management. I just felt like time meant a lot more to me than money, even though, you got to make money and all that. But I literally turned the key and unlocked that door at 8 o'clock every morning. And then when I left, it was about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And it was easily 6 days a week, did it for 10 years. And I was just, there's got to be something different than just spending all my waking daylight working. And so, I got involved with insurance. I actually got my insurance license while I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I did my insurance license on the side because I didn't want to leave a lucrative job and, not knowing. So I was able to get my license. I was able to then kind of work a little bit on the weekend, the day I had off, or when I would go in, talk to people. I would literally have a senior moment with people. When I had seniors come into the dealership, I'd be talking to them about insurance more than I'd be talking to them about cars. And so what happened with me was, after about 6 months to a year, I realized how lucrative this could be. And I went full force. I left my job, started working. The neat thing about insurance and in the Medicare world of insurance is that I noticed you showed territories on this thing, but when it comes to territories, you literally can work anywhere you want to work. If you live in Arizona and you want to work in Arizona, that's fine. But I actually have people that are in my group that are agents with me that live in Pennsylvania. They'll fly down here and they'll work in Georgia. They'll go back home. They only work like maybe a week, a month, but they'll fly down here, or they'll fly to Mississippi, or they'll fly to Texas. You can go anywhere you want to go. A lot of people will actually go where they've got family members. They may have a mother or father that lives 2 or 3 states away that they may want to go over there, and they can stay with them for 2 or 3 days and work. So that's what makes it really, really neat. When I first started, of course, I had no aspirations of becoming a managing agent or a general agent. And just by happenstance, being able to talk to some friends of mine and family members over the years, they were like, I'd really like to do this. And so even my brother, my brother's a 20-year veteran in the fire department. And he actually signed on part-time about 6 or 7 years ago. And then literally a year before his full retirement, he said, Jeremy, the numbers just don't make sense for me to stay in the fire department one more year. He said, I can early retire and actually go out and do insurance on a full-time basis and make more money. So he actually left. And then a couple of years later, his wife was able to retire. And we've got stories like that throughout my group all over the spectrum. And, when it comes to people and their age, we've got people that are under us that are literally 23 years old all the way up to 74 years old. So what I really like about this business is the ability to be able to do it when you're older. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm going to retire when I'm 60. Well, there is no way that I even want to retire when I'm 60 because I feel like I'm retired already. It's one of those things where we do only work about 3 days a week. And then during this season, like they were telling you about on the different election periods that they showed in the slide earlier, you can work as much as you want. We work very diligently and try to get out there on like a Tuesday and work a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we're done for the week. So I always told my agents, I said, I really want to try to have more days off than I have more days on. You know what I mean? So the 4-day weekend turned out to be really nice, and we've been doing those 4-day weekends for years now. So it's just a really great opportunity. When it comes to Kingdom, the biggest thing I can tell you is that there's a middleman there that gives you the ability, if you ever need anything when it comes to contracting help, when it comes to information on carriers, when it comes to information on commissions, when it comes to leads. Leads are obviously the biggest thing. And the cutting edge technology that they've been using for leads, even in the past and now into the future, we don't ever have a problem getting leads and having the ability to be able to, go out and talk to people. Now, I'm actually going to a couple of appointments right after this, but when it comes to us, we'll leave. We usually leave and go 2 or 3 hours away. We'll stay out for a couple of days and then come back home. You don't have to do that, but that's just our choice. We like to go out and, we like to see different places, and we may go play a little golf or do something like that when we're done working. But it has been an absolute game changer. When it comes to careers, the other big thing that I want to tell you that you really can't stress on these slides is the money. The money is kind of almost unbelievable when you look at those $200,000 numbers, $300,000 numbers. What I can tell you about that is that when I worked for Ford, I got paid for what I did, right? You get paid every Friday, and they pay you off of what you did that prior week. And then if you didn't come in that next week, well, you didn't get paid. And I didn't understand that there was actually other ways of getting paid out there. And one of the biggest things is the renewals, the residual income. As somebody who's been doing this for about 15 years and seeing that today, it's actually bigger than it was 15 years ago when it comes to the potential of an agent making an absolute career fortune. When you have 10,000 people a day turning 65, and then you also have a lot of Social Security disability people out there, every single day, that's just a new batch of people that are eligible for what you're, going out and showing them what they can get onto when it comes to a Medicare health plan. So it's a very big deal. When I was looking at the webinar that you guys were having, when it comes to the licensing process, don't let that hinder you whatsoever. It's one of the easiest things you can do. When it comes to getting licensing for anything, it's really more of just a time-consuming thing. When it comes to the easiness of it, you just go in, you make it happen, you do it. And then once it's done for good. And then you have your license from here until the day you want to stop paying for that license on a yearly basis. But when it comes to the ability to be able to have that residual income, when they were talking about that monthly money that you get paid on the members that you have on your books, you get paid a monthly premium off of them for the rest of the time that contract is in place. And usually that contract is in place until either one, they change to a better plan, which they'd be calling you, or two, they pass away or they move out of that particular area. But that's your customer. So you're able to keep a hold of them and understand, maybe they might want to change. You can just move them to another plan. It's no big deal. You still keep getting paid.
That's great, Jeremy. I had a list of questions here to ask you, and you covered every single bullet point. Thanks again for joining us today, Jeremy. Very, very helpful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, buddy.